Yo guys, what's going on? This is XV Frosted VX here bringing you another X and Y narrative Wi-Fi battle. This was a UU tier match I had against Taniver on my live stream yesterday, and just turned out to be a really close game, so I hope you guys enjoy. Not much to explain on the team preview. You guys see what the teams are like. I didn't really know what to lead with, so I decided to lead off with Rachi, but I'll explain much of the team preview as we go along, so I hope you guys enjoy this battle because it turned out to be a really close. So like I said during my short team preview, I didn't know exactly what he was going to lead with, so I decided to go off and lead off on my Jirachi, which actually turns out to be really rewarding because it ends up he leads off with a Whizmacott, and my Jirachi is actually a Choice Scarf variant with Doom Desire, Flash Cannon, Psyshock, and Thunderbolt, and Doom Desire is a nice stab 140 base move that hits my opponent 2 turns later. So 140 power stabbed Choice Specs? Who wants to come in on that? Especially after you get hit 2 turns later. So I decided to go for that as my opponent went for the Leech Seed, which is perfectly fine because I can't do much more with my Rachi after I use Doom Desire because I'm Choice Specs into it, and it will fail the second time I try going for it. I decided to go into my Toxicroak to try to scare out the Whizmacott as he decides to go for the Taunt, thinking I go for the Stealth Rocks with my Rachi, which is not a bad play of all of my opponent's part. This is where it confused me a little bit because my opponent decides to stay in. 1, 2, he goes for the Sunny Day, and looking at his team, nothing much benefits from the Sun. So the only thing it's benefiting is the Arcanine, and I decided to go for the Gunk Shot and take out the Whizmacott, which is really nice because that Whizmacott could have been really annoying later on in the match. He decides to pull out into the Arcanine, you know, to get the Intimidate off, and Toxicroak can't really stay in on this thing because, you know, Sun boosted Flare Blitz, Toxicroak's Dry Skin. No, I don't want to stay in on that. So I decided to go pull a switch into my Suicune because it's like the best thing I have that can really take on a Flare Blitz in a Sun boosted and whatnot. He decides to go for the Will-O-Wisp here, and this confirmed to me that this Arcanine is actually a defensive set, and this is really amazing because my Suicune can wall this Arcanine for days. Look at how much damage this Sun boosted Flare Blitz does. That literally did 42 damage. That did nothing. So I decided to set up a Calm Mind right here, and this, you know, I'm just trying to set up with Suicune, and hopefully I could try to pull a sweep here because nothing on his team really appreciates Scold other than the Ampharos. And you know, lefties, recovery, and whatnot, and burnt, whatever. But I can get the rest off, and I could go for Sleep Talk later on in the game. So my opponent decides to switch out here, and he decides to go and pull a switch into the Ampharos, and I'm going up for my second Calm Mind here. I decided to speed up this part of the battle because this battle took a little bit too long, I should say, because, you know, this is like the stalliest part of the battle. It's just me trying to set up Calm Minds as my opponent is, you know, going for the Mega Evolution, going for the Discharge, trying to beat down my Suicune and whatnot. And during this part of the match, I thought this was going to be a 6-0 right here because my Suicune couldn't really be stopped at this point. The only way he was actually going to take me down is if he took down me down with a crit. And I'm setting up Calm Minds, I'm getting off the rest. He goes for the Volt Switch thinking he might take me out here. And I'm in a really good position because I'm +3, I'm, you know, setting up another Calm Mind that's +4, and the Sun just faded, so my Scolds are actually doing even more damage. He decides to pull a switch right back out into the Ampharos, and I'm just, you know, I get Scold there, I get another Scold, and I'm doing more and more damage to the thing until finally he gets a crit and takes out my Suicune. So after I tried sweeping with the Suicune, I decided to bring out the Flygon just to see if I could get the revenge kill or scare him off. I decided to go for the U-turn, which actually turns out to be a mistake. I could have just went for the Dragon Claw here because, like, he had nothing to block it ever since he lost the Whizmacott, which I'm forced to bring in my Jirachi because I feel like he's going for the Dragon Pulse, which I was dead wrong. He ends up going for the Focus Blast, and this does so much damage. This does like 2/3 of my HP. And it drops my special defense, which didn't really matter because Rachi's at a low enough HP that anything can come in and revenge kill it now. As I'm going to go ahead and finish off the Ampharos with the Psyshock, which really I should have just killed off the Flygon with the Dragon Claw because it could have been my best move because he takes super effective damage from it. It would have guaranteed me the kill, but my opponent decides to go into the Flygon and does the same exact thing that I did last turn and over-predict and expecting my Pokemon to switch out. He decides to go for the U-turn, and now he's going to go ahead and bring into his Arcanine, because it's the only thing that he really has that can really take a hit from my Jirachi since I locked myself into Psy Shock. He was thinking that I was Choice Scarfed at the time, that's why he went for the U-turn, and this is the next turn, this is why he decides to go for the Extreme Speed, because he thought I would outrun him, which, you know, is truth because he is a physically defensive Arcanine, so I would have outran him, but I didn't really need my Rachi anymore, is why I kept it in against the Flygon. So I decided to go into my Flygon, and I decided to go straight for the Earthquake, because at this point in time, he has nothing to really take an Earthquake other than the Flygon, but I didn't think he would want to bring it in, just in case I went for the Dragon Claw. He didn't want to go and take a Dragon Claw, because that would have killed his Flygon. So after I killed his Arcanine, he decides to go and bring in the Aggron, which I decided to switch out because, yes, I'm locked into Earthquake, which would have been 4 times super effective, but he's got the Sturdy, and I didn't know what he was going to go for. So I decided to go into my Toxicroak thinking he'd go for a Rock-type move of some sort, which was stupid because he was not going to go for a Rock-type move. He goes for the Heavy Slam and destroys my Toxicroak's life. So, yeah, I just fought it off my Toxicroak for absolutely no reason whatsoever. So I pull in my switch into my Flygon again, and I decide to go for the Earthquake because I found out that he was Life Orbed. So I decide to go ahead and Earthquake. I get a critical hit, which obviously didn't matter because he's 4 times super effective to Earthquake because of the Rock and Steel typing. He decides to go ahead and bring in the Slowbro now. And I didn't know what else to do to this thing. I didn't want to stay in, obviously, because I was fearing the Ice Beam, so I decided to go into my Cinccino. And he actually turns out to have the trick. And I'm guessing he just wanted to snatch my Choice Scarf, because later on he wants to outspeed it with his own Flygon. He gives me the Choice Specs, and I give him a Life Orb. And because I gave him the Life Orb, this Bullet Seed, as you see, is not going to do too much damage. Because even though Slowbro is weak to it, he took my Life Orb, so now I don't have the extra strength behind it. As he does decide to go for the Psy Shock, I thought he would die here, but I actually lived on 22 HP just because he traded off the Choice Specs to me. That was the only reason why I even survived that, as I decided to go for another Bullet Seed to try to take it out as he switches out into the Flygon, which is a good play on my opponent's part because he will be able to outspeed me in the next turn. He decides to go for the U-turn, try to take out my Cinccino, and he goes right back out into the Slowbro, and because of the Regenerator, he's at now a pretty reasonable amount of HP, as I decided to go into my own Flygon, and I had no choice. I had to go for the Outrage, because considering the fact that it was Choice Specs, I was still thinking that it had the Ice Beam. But what he surprises me again. He goes for the trick here, and he actually tricks me the Life Orb and gives him the Choice Scarf, which you think is an odd play, and all realistically, he has his Flygon that's Choice Scarf too. Since now I'm locked into Outrage, I kill the Slowbro, but now he has a free chance to go out to his Flygon to revenge kill my Flygon because his is Choice Scarfed, and since he stole my Choice Scarf, I can't outrun it. So now he's going to go ahead and Outrage me here, and I'm going to lose my Flygon, which is rather unfortunate. But my last Pokemon turns out to be Kabutops, but I did not expect my Kabutops to actually take this the Outrage, so I just went for the Endure, and this is where I screwed up right here. I went for the Endure, and he doesn't kill me, and I get the weak armor boost, yes, but Kabutops is still not fast enough to outspeed a Flygon, and this was a major misplay, but luckily for me, he gets the 2-turn Outrage Confusion, and I decided to go for the Aqua Jet, hoping this would kill, hoping I can end the game right here. But no, Kabutops couldn't pull through, so I'm all praying on the Hax Gods that he would hit himself in Confusion. And luckily for me, he hits himself in Confusion. And that was the game. It literally came down to if he could hit me or not. So yeah, that was a really narrow 1-0 victory in my favor. Very good game, Taniver. I really enjoyed this match. And if you guys enjoyed this match, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I normally stream on Twitch on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and over the weekend. I'll leave a link in the description below. Follow me on Twitch. Click a like on my Facebook page. Follow me on Twitter. Until next time, guys, XP Frosted, signing out. Later.